Hi, I'm Steve from Draeger, and I'll be showing you how to calibrate an electrochemical sensor using a Polytron 8100. The procedure is virtually identical if you're using a Polytron 7000 or a Point Guard 2100. You will need a zero gas and also a span gas. The zero gas can be either nitrogen, zero air with 20.9% volume oxygen, or fresh air or ambient air. The devices that you need to calibrate is a span and zero cylinder, a 0.5 liter per minute flow regulator, calibration tubing, and a calibration cup. If you're using a reactive gas such as ammonia, please be sure to use our reactive cal kit. Also, please be sure to read the manual before proceeding. Once the detector goes into calibration mode, it will transmit a signal below 4 milliamps. If the detector is connected to a controller such as the Regard 7000, the controller will recognize that the detector is in maintenance mode and will not set off any faults or alarms. If you are using any other controller, please be sure that it understands signals below 4 milliamps. Okay, so now we're going to do a calibration with our carbon monoxide sensor using the Polytron 8100 device. There are two levels of calibration that we need to do. One is for zero and one is for span. Always do the zero first. The zero can be done either with fresh air or a zero air calibration cylinder, which is 20.9% by volume of oxygen, or you can use nitrogen. That should be your last resort. We prefer to use either fresh air or zero air bottle, but if you only have nitrogen, that can be used as well. So for us, we're gonna do a zero with fresh air, and we're gonna calibrate the span with a 50 ppm carbon monoxide cylinder. So we have to get into the menu. We're gonna press and hold the down arrow, enter our password. You can enter either password of 1 or 2. 1 will allow you to do the calibration, 2 allows you to do the entire configuration of the device. I'm just gonna choose 2. We're gonna go to calibration, and we're gonna perform a zero calibration spec. So now it's telling us to apply zero gas. So if we were to have a cylinder, we would then now turn our cylinder on. Since we're doing a fresh air calibration, there's really nothing to turn on. Just one note, if you are doing a fresh air calibration, just make sure the area does not contain any carbon monoxide or any other cross-sensitive gases at the time. So we're gonna hit next. At zero calibration with a Polytron 8000 series of devices, or in this case specifically Polytron 8100, you really only want the value to stabilize. It's not necessarily going to go to zero. You're not necessarily looking for a 0 ppm value. You just want the value to stabilize. We've stabilized at -1 ppm, and we simply go ahead and hit calibrate. The device now has a new value of 0 ppm. It's telling us to remove the gas if we had any gas, and we're going to hit next. So now it's asking us if the value is out of alarm range. Obviously 0 ppm is out of alarm range. We're going to select next, and now we're back to our calibration menu. So now zero calibration is done. We're going to go to span calibration, and again we're going to calibrate with a 50 ppm cylinder of carbon monoxide. We're going to go into the span calibration, and here is where you can choose what span gas concentration you're actually going to use and what type of span gas you're going to use. So if we select the up arrow until our concentration is selected, we're going to put in 50 ppm. So now we have a CO, our unit of measure is ppm, and we have a 50 ppm concentration, and that concentration is going to be found on the cylinder that you're going to be using. So we're going to select next. So now it's telling us to apply the carbon monoxide gas. So we're going to put our calibration adapter or calibration cup onto a sensor. It's just a friction fit. If you notice, I'm using a really long tube for calibration. Ordinarily, we recommend using a tube that's as short as possible, especially if you're doing a reactive gas calibration such as ammonia or chlorine. And in those cases, you're going to use our reactive calibration kit. So we're going to turn on our gas. We're going to say next. And here again, we're going to watch for the value to be stabilized. So it doesn't necessarily have to reach 50 ppm. It just has to be stable. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. Our value is stabilized at 50 ppm. If for some reason it's stabilized at 52 or say 53, that still would be okay. We simply just have to hit select OK to calibrate. Now it's asking us to remove the gas. So I'm going to remove the cup. And we're going to select next. And now it's asking us if we're out of alarm range. So whatever your alarm limits are, make sure the value that is showing here is below that. And then we can select next, and we're done with our span calibration. We can then go back up to the main menu and select to go back to measurement screen, and we're now calibrated our sensor. Thank you for watching. If you have any further questions, please contact our technical support center, and please also watch our other videos in the Polytron series.